Welcome back to the OKC Foodcast, your guide to the food in Oklahoma, and you're joined by your hosts, Nabil
and Ashley.
And this week, our good friend and return guest on the pod returns.
Yeah. Welcome back, Gabriel Lewis.
Definitely great to be back.
How's it going?
Oh, man, another day. Absolutely fantastic. How about yourself?
What is this, the third appearance on the podcast?
I think
this
so.
is 3 times the charm.
He was it the second episode and third episode?
Oh, yeah, we did a couple back-to-backs.
Yeah. So just a recap of who Gabe Lewis is. Tell us just a brief little background about yourself.
Alrighty. So I have been a chef since I was about 18 years old. Managed to get on the Gordon Ramsay TV show MasterChef when I was 19 and was sent to culinary school by Gordon Ramsay. Since then, I've opened my own private catering business here in Oklahoma City. And just this year was announced the Okie Award winner, Best Chef 2019 by So6 Magazine.
Hey,
So
congratulations.
incredible.
Thank you.
How did I not know about that?
I don't know.
I knew about that.
Oh, I did not know about that. He doesn't tell me anything.
No, congratulations. That is so awesome
man.
and deserving for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so thanks for being on again. So let's dive into our Eat of the Week.
Let's do it. Who wants to go first?
I had a pretty awesome Eat of the Week this week. I spent a lot of time in Wellston, America.
Oh, so you had Butcher.
I had Butchers. So freaking good. The last time I had Butchers, I was raving about their burnt ends. But this time, I mean, I still had the burnt ends. They were still amazing. But the ribs were the showstopper this time. Just the crunchy, sweet, kind of salty outer skins of those ribs. Just incredible.
I still need to try Butcher.
Oh, it's so good.
Can't believe I haven't been there.
And the burnt ends are just like big chunks, really large chunks of like meat candy.
Ooh, all right. I'm going to put you on the spot. You've had burnt ends from Butcher and Clark Crew.
Yes.
What do you think about both of them?
Okay, so the very first, I'm going to say it's a toss-up. The very first time that I had Clark Crew, comparing it to Butcher's, I would have said I liked Butcher's burnt ends better and Clark Crew's ribs better. Mm-hmm. But this past time, I liked
the flip-flop.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they have different flavors, but the thing so I always get macaroni and cheese and coleslaw. I like both Clark Crew and Butcher's, but Clark Crew with like the 2-meat plate, it also comes with a little thing of cornbread that's like a little mini sweet loaf of cornbread. Mm-hmm. I prefer that over the Twinkie that Butcher's gives.
Twinkie, I have heard they give you a Twinkie for dessert.
Yeah, that's like they
Never heard of that.
on their menu. On their menu, it says dessert Twinkie.
That's funny. That's funny.
But they give everybody a Twinkie with their meal, and I'm just not a fan of Twinkies.
Well, I mean, you don't go to a barbecue place for the dessert, right?
No, but the cornbread at Clark Crew,
really good,
so good. I mean, I loved it. So,
and Clark Crew's burnt ends, those are the only ones I've had. Those were fantastic.
They're so good. Yeah. So it's a real toss up between who is better. I don't think one is better than the other. I think they're both probably just neck and neck, just different flavors.
Okay, so, fair enough.
Yeah, you got to try.
Not choosing
Butchers,
favorites.
though.
Okay, I see you.
If I had to choose favorites, I would say probably Clark Crew because the cornbread pushes them over the edge.
Not because of the barbecue, because of the cornbread.
I mean, the barbecue is excellent, incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is incredible.
But I would say it's on par with Butcher's. Like, they're both really fantastic.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my Eat of the Week.
It is tough choosing food.
Yeah.
Gabe, what you got?
All right. If I had to give Eat of the Week to any place that I have consumed food from this week, honestly, I would have to give it to the Drum Room and the Wedge out in Midwest City.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I really enjoy that place.
That's the one we haven't talked about, Drum Room.
It's very underrated.
Yeah.
It is very underrated. So as a chef, I've always believed that the food that's the most simple done the best is some of the best food out there. And, you know, the Drum Room has a way of making a very simple fried chicken taste more complex than it is. You know, the flavors and the nuances of the seasoning blends of anything from their fried chicken legs, you know, their half a bird, their whole bird, to their chicken tenders even, is just phenomenal. They have an amazing gravy that goes with their mashed potatoes. I mean, it is just an absolute pleasure to go in there and eat.
I agree. I like getting a pizza and a side of chicken legs.
Oh, yeah. See, there you go.
Have the best of both.
Ooh. What if you took those, ripped them up, and put them on your pizza?
Listen, now, if you're challenging me to make a fried chicken pizza, we can do that right now. I mean, it goes down. We can throw down Southern style.
I mean, I'm not challenging. I just want you to do it so I can eat it. Because I'm not about to step up and make fried chicken pizza against you.
No, but I mean, if you're challenging me to make it, you know,
I am challenging
every
you.
chef loves a good challenge, right?
Let's do it.
Make it happen.
Let's do it tomorrow.
I mean, you know.
So, Nabil, what was your eat of the week?
Mine was Scotty's Deli.
Oh, did you get to have Scotty's one last time?
I did. I actually had it like 2 or 3 last times because I was just like, this is going away.
So sad.
It's sad.
Let's talk about that. Scotty's Deli.
I know.
Done.
Man, that
I
pastrami,
did not
tell
see
you.
that coming.
That pastrami was so good. So I went there Saturday, their last day that they were open. I was there the day before, and Jenny and Eric were like, yeah, we're closing tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she's like, we might close a little early around 4.
Oh, I bet they couldn't.
They did. They closed around 4. So
Okay.
I was just like, I'm going to come back before that. I had a few things to do and errands to run and stuff, but I got there like 3:50 or 3:55, like right before 4. And as soon as I entered, I was talking to them and stuff and kind of ordering my food, and she pulls me aside and she's like, I'm like, what's happening? And she's like, oh, we're taking a picture. I'm like, okay, let's take a picture. And she's like, you're our official last customer.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, man,
that's cool.
It's an absolute honor.
yeah, right. That was.
Why
And
didn't you post any of this?
I have it on my phone. I haven't posted
Come
it.
on.
I'm gonna post it when this episode release as a recap. I'll post this tomorrow.
It needs to be very heartwarming, man.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Right.
I was so shocked to hear that they were closing.
Yeah.
Like, so sad. Their sandwiches were so
I know.
freaking
I know.
good.
And I mean, so I got the pace,
Yeah.
but I got it on sourdough,
Yeah.
and I love sourdough. So the pastrami, jalapeno slaw,
Yep.
pepper jack cheese.
I knew you had to get that jalapeno slaw.
Yeah, that jalapeno sauce so good.
Yeah.
And man, it was so good. So good.
Well,
So
Scotty's, you will be missed.
you will. But they did tell me that, they're going to try to do some pop-ups, and they're going to try to stay active and do a couple things. So
Yeah.
it'll be cool seeing them around. And they said they'll see us at our anniversary party.
Awesome.
Oh,
So let's lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a little bit before we dive into our episode.
Yeah.
So our 1-year anniversary is upon us.
March 19th. It's a Thursday.
March 19th, 5:30 p.m. at Parlor.
Yes.
If you would like to attend, it is a must that you get your ticket on Eventbrite.
Yeah.
It is free.
You know how many people have done that so far?
Last I checked, there was like 96.
110.
Wow.
We have 110 people coming out, and I mean it's fantastic. The support and that's just great. So thank you guys for registering to come. It is free.
Yep.
We're gonna have
Some light bites, first come, first serve.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to Parlor. Parlor's sponsoring this for us.
yes.
So
Thank you for
thank
giving
you.
us the space and
Yeah.
the bites, and we'll have drink tickets, and
I
we're
think
gonna have
it's
some
gonna be
giveaways.
maybe like 1 free drink per person,
Yeah,
possibly 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we just say drink tickets,
Yeah.
and no commitment on how many, but you'll get something.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. And, it's thanks to our listeners that we've been able to keep on doing this for a year. So we're excited.
So if you want more information, go to our Facebook page.
Yes.
Look for the event.
OKC Foodcast 1 year anniversary party.
Yes. Or facebook.com/the OKC Foodcast.
Yeah.
And look at the event. It has an Eventbrite link. Register, and we'd love to see you out there. There's no limit on how many friends you can bring. So I don't know. Parlor. I feel like Parlor challenged us to see how many people we can bring.
They said no cap.
They said no cap. So let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
That's when it gets fun.
Yeah, for sure. Are you coming, Gabe?
Oh, wouldn't miss it. Wouldn't miss it.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So with that being said, that kind of, I think, ties us into our episode this week.
It's a perfect segue.
It is. So last year we did this same episode with Gabe, predicted food trends of 2019. And we did nail some of those on the head.
We did.
We might have missed the mark on a couple of predictions.
Like the salad vending machine.
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen.
I have not seen that.
But that's all right. That's all right. But we got like the cream cheese.
Oh,
tea,
the cheese tea.
Cheese tea.
Yeah, and we got to try that.
And that was really good. That was really good.
That was good.
The matcha and the oat milk and
yeah. It was delicious.
And that was at Woodshed Teas. Just
there you
FYI.
Go. Woodshed. It was on the tip of my tongue, and I'm like, it's gonna come to me. No, it's delicious. So this week we are going to talk about the food trends coming up in 2020.
That's right. So let's get into it. The first predicted trend, and this is something that we've seen an explosion of all over Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Since last year.
Yeah.
Since state question 768.
Yep.
And that is to do with marijuana and CBD. So CBD infused cuisine, which CBD does not have THC. It's got the THC removed, which is the acting agent of medical marijuana or just marijuana in general. But CBD infused cuisine is going to be the new thing.
Do you know a lot about that, Gabe?
Yeah, I've done an extensive bit of research on it. And funny enough, I actually did a small shoot with my sister. She works for CBD Plus Lotus Gold.
Okay.
And she had a coconut salve that they produce, and it is completely edible. So she said, I want to challenge you to make a dish out of this. And I use that coconut salve to make this amazing pork loin dish with these delicious chicken stock, coconut salve, caramelized potatoes.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Right? And the crazy thing is, it didn't impart a crazy amount of flavor, but it definitely gave you the medicinal effects of the CBD.
Yeah.
So yeah, CBD is non-psychoactive, like Nabil was saying. But it also helps with aches and pains, and it has all of the healing abilities, or you could say the nourishing abilities of the marijuana plant without the psychoactive ingredients to it. So it's definitely something that's been picking up a lot more, especially in my industry, small batch or private eventing, things like that. So it's definitely on the rise, and a lot of people that are looking to medicate are looking to medicate in that fashion. They want to be able to be around people that they love or they enjoy their company with, and be able to eat something that makes them feel good, makes them feel better.
Right, and not feel high.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And CBD has been around much longer than the medical marijuana in this state has. Right? There were CBD gummies and oils and things like that for, I think, a couple of years before medical marijuana came into the picture. So yeah, I don't think it's surprising, because people are experimenting with all sorts of things these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
it is mind blowing though, all the locations that have popped up.
seriously.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. It's like every corner you look, you're like, what?
Yes. I did not expect that at all.
Oh yeah, it is. It's saturated the state. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nowhere you can go in the metropolitan area that doesn't have a dispensary on at least one or two corners within a mile or two of each other. So it's definitely been something that our state has just kind of embraced and fully taken a hold of, and people that are responsible business owners have definitely latched onto and ran with.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see, and it's very interesting to see the amount of money that has come from having medical marijuana dispensaries available now in Oklahoma.
Right. Also, I'm always intrigued by all the creative names.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people are having a lot of fun with this.
They definitely are. So
I'm
funny,
like, ooh, good one.
right? So funny enough, the OMMA actually has a list of all dispensaries, processors, and growers on their website. Why is there one named Dunder Mifflin? Yeah. I was totally shocked. I myself am an office nerd, so when I saw it,
gosh, that's
oh my goodness,
I mean, people are like that. They're having fun with this.
they definitely are.
That's hilarious.
Speaking of that, if you are an office nerd,
Here comes a quiz.
Well, no. So at my studio, Pinot's Palette, we just had a Friends trivia night, and it was a huge success.
I really wanted to go to that.
It was a lot of fun. And the next one is going to be an Office trivia night, and possibly Golden Girls. But when you said you're an Office guru,
Oh yeah.
so am I, and some of my staff. So I think that'd be so much fun. Sorry, sidebar.
I only have a 2-word response to that, and it's challenge accepted.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so another 2020 food prediction, which actually this one is a beverage prediction. And I think we talked about this for 2019 as well. But more and more restaurants are offering low to no alcohol beverages. So I think that's still going to be part of the trend of just being more health conscious.
Right. And that's what it was last year.
Yeah.
And so it's just continuing.
Yeah. So another thing, kombucha. I mean, I've been a big fan of kombucha for probably 10 years. But now several places are actually putting those on tap in the restaurant. One example is Neighborhood Jam.
Yeah, they've had that since they opened.
Yeah.
Which has been a couple of years now. They've had kombucha on tap, which I thought was, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Do you know what? Do they just call it kombucha on tap? Do they have a flavor?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I've never gotten it. I'm not bought into kombucha like a lot of people are yet.
Oh, I love it. I really
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an acquired. It's an acquired taste, right? So personally, I've never been the biggest fan of bottled kombucha because it's just so acidic that it builds on you. It's almost like drinking a carbonated vinegar. And
Yeah, I love that about it.
See, I've never been that big of a fan of it, but I just recently went to a brewery opening, and it's called Broke Brewing. They're located off 3810 North Tulsa. Just opened this past weekend, and they have an amazing hibiscus peach kombucha.
Ooh, yum.
And when I tell you that it made a new fan out of me,
Yeah.
I mean it's incredible. And I guess with kombucha, most of the pre-bottled kombucha have an excess of lactate or something along those lines that make that extra sour flavor. And they have a way that they craft their kombucha that allows that to not develop as far, so you don't have that strong vinegar or acidic flavor. It's still
Right.
there, but it's not as prominent, so you're able to consume the entire beverage without it kind of loading up on you.
Yeah.
And they offer it, I think, at $2 a glass for any of their non-alcoholic or designated drivers or their patrons.
Nice.
So that they still have something to, be able to socially drink with.
Yeah.
That's a good alternative. And
Yeah.
you're right there with the kombucha is like that excess of vinegary taste and
Yeah.
the acidic taste. Like I'm like, I don't know if I want to drink that, but this hibiscus peach one sounds interesting. I might give it a shot.
My favorite flavors, or the flavor I always want in my kombucha is ginger. So it has like that little hint of spiciness to it. I love it so much. But as far as like low alcohol, and don't mark my words, but I want to say places like the Jones Assembly and Bar Cicchetti have low alcohol
And I feel
beverage
like I
offerings.
heard
or
Gun
even
talk
like
about something.
mocktails.
Yeah. I again, not 100%
Gun
sure.
might be one as well. Yeah. So it's definitely a trend. Just again, being more health conscious and not consuming as much alcohol.
We might have to get our friend, the Bivographer, in for a follow-up episode on this. I
Yeah.
think that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we'll see what we can do. But, just in general, everyone is trying to reduce their alcohol consumption. Nielsen data said 66% of millennials are trying to reduce alcohol consumption.
Really?
Yeah. That's a really high number.
That is.
That's interesting to me because it's like we're seeing a drop in millennials drinking alcoholic beverages, but we're seeing a rise in craft beverages.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like the variety is increasing, but the consumption is decreasing. So, I mean, it's definitely an interesting trend.
Yeah. Maybe it's like binge drinking that they're stopping.
Maybe.
I haven't jumped on that that bandwagon yet to lower my.
You haven't made that pledge?
I haven't made that pledge.
That's funny.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm a big drinker, but my wine, I haven't parted with that yet.
Another reason some people are saying the youth, quote unquote, is drinking less is
Why?
because they're smoking more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's so funny. I'm reading this off of this thing, and it's dubbed as being Cali sober.
Cali sober.
Yeah.
Huh? I mean, I guess that does make sense.
Like
I mean,
California
Yeah.
sober.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say they were one of the first, states in the country to legalize medical marijuana back in the 90s. So
Yeah.
it only makes sense that they are the state to coin that term.
Yeah.
Cali sober.
Cali sober.
Interesting fun fact. I like
Yeah.
facts. I don't know.
Yeah.
The next big trend that we've been seeing and that we were talking about was a reduce in consuming meat,
Yeah.
right? And that's for a variety of reasons. People,
Except for the people that are on keto.
Oh,
they're-
I feel like that should have been on the list of this trend.
It balances out.
Yeah.
And I mean, people are reducing their meat intake for a variety of reasons. Some it's like the environmental impact is really high. Some because of the way the animals are treated, and some because it is now more and more data and things are coming out where it's saying that a plant-based diet is more healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, I mean, agreed.
Right.
I'm not going to give up meat, but I know there's tons of studies. The thing that bothers me about meat, which is why I'm very selective of where I buy my meat, is all the crap that they now inject in animals.
The quality of the meat.
Yeah,
right?
most
Quality.
definitely.
That's the thing that really turns me off, that I'm very, very choosy about my meat. But, maybe this people getting more on a plant-based diet is because so many people did keto in 2019 and now have cholesterol issues.
That's funny.
And so 2020, they're going to go plant-based.
That's funny. Hey, look, we don't just give you the things that are happening. We're telling you why they're happening. But this new movement, it's not necessarily people becoming vegetarian or vegan. This is called flexitarianism.
Yeah.
Where they follow a largely plant-based diet, but also eat meat and animal byproduct on occasion. So it's basically essentially saying, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're not opposed to meat. They just find it healthier to go plant-based.
Right.
So
And I know Gabe has some thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Gabe does not agree with coining a new term for eating less meat.
I think it's funny. Flexitarianism.
It's definitely funny because it's just like, oh yeah, I have a flexible diet, but I would just rather
doesn't
say
everyone?
Everyone
Yeah.
does, absolutely. So to me, if you're going to coin a new term, it should be based on the omission of something from one's diet, not the
flexibility.
not just reducing the amount that you intake, because I could say that I'm semi-dairy free, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm just consuming dairy in moderation. So I think
We're
that
going to give that a name.
I like that. I'm
Semi-dairyism.
right, it's there you go, semi-dairyism. So it's to me, it's
Sounds
just
like a cult.
right. It's just adding extra terms that I don't think we necessarily need in the culinary field. Because then I'm going to hear that term when I'm, getting guests in and I say, hey, do you have any special dietary restrictions? I'm a flexitarian. As a chef, that means nothing to me.
We're like, okay, you're just going to eat whatever I give you.
flexible.
Exactly.
Sweet.
It's like, okay, so are you going to consume the protein in the entree?
What day is it for you today?
Yeah.
Are you eating meat or not?
So yeah, it's like it's just a raffle almost. I have to just kind of
It's a
pick
raffle.
something at random, and hopefully it's the day that you're wanting to
Yeah.
consume meat. Otherwise, so I can't hop on board with that one. Almost all the dietary terms I 100% agree with. Pescatarian, or vegetarianism, veganism, ovo-lacto-vegetarianism. I understand
they all
that.
point to a specific thing.
Absolutely. They all have a very clear definition. This has far too much ambiguity.
I'm a flexitarian.
It has no definition.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a flexitarian. I've been one for my whole life.
Follow a largely plant-based diet, but also eat meat and animal byproducts on occasion.
Okay, fine. I'm not. I'm a reverse flexitarian. I don't know.
That's funny.
But that's also spurring another trend, which is meat alternatives.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this was something we also talked about in 2019. The different
substitutes,
the meat options that you can get at the grocery store. But now, doesn't even Burger King have
the
Impossible?
Yeah.
The Impossible meat Whopper, I think.
Yeah, right? And I'm not even gonna lie, I've eaten it.
Have you?
I have.
I mean, I haven't been to Burger King, in probably 20 years, but
I've had an Impossible burger before. It was good.
Yeah.
I've made.
I think that was pretty cool though for Burger King to bring that
it
on.
is.
Yeah.
It most definitely is. I have a good amount of friends that are vegetarian, and they gravitated towards it. And each of them gave me the same response. They said, "Hey, there's not a lot of places we can get a burger or an alternative for the protein, and the fact that we can get this at fast food."
Yeah.
And they preface it by saying, "Well, we probably shouldn't be eating fast food, but
Right.
they're happy that it's that readily available for them within the confines of their
I
diet."
wonder if it's healthier, or if they still make it as unhealthy as.
I know they still make it on the same grill because they got sued for that.
Oh, they did?
They
got
did.
sued?
Someone sued them for producing the Impossible Whopper on the same griddle as the regular Whopper.
Interesting.
It is very interesting.
Well, that makes.
It makes
they would have to
sense.
introduce a whole new workspace for that.
Yeah.
But it's, I get where they were coming from about keeping it separate, but at the same time, your griddle is 500 to 700 degrees. So
Right.
whatever is there is gone the instant
It's
the meat
gone.
comes off. But
Right.
yeah, to each their own. But it's definitely a nice trend to see, honestly. And as a chef, I'm definitely more conscious of the proteins, and having an alternative to that, I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I was at Anchor Down, and gosh, I forgot what this was called, but it was we're getting chicken wings and boneless chicken and whatever.
Where were you at?
Anchor Down.
Where's that?
It is in Deep Deuce. It's kind of right across the level. It's in, it's one of those shipping container bars.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We were there for trivia, and so we're getting chicken wings, and someone got the chicken alternative, which tasted fantastic. The texture was really good. Like, man, like the alternatives are just getting better and better.
Yeah.
Where you don't feel like you're giving something up when you're picking those alternatives.
Right.
So I think that's only going to get better.
I've not tried a chicken alternative.
I've tried a few, and I'm glad you had a better experience.
Go try these and tell me what you think.
Hey, man, let's go get them.
Are they
Let's
like
do it.
in
Yeah.
chicken nugget form?
Yeah, it was like boneless wings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So essentially chicken nugget. I call
Yeah.
boneless wings chicken nuggets, so thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just fancy chicken nuggets.
No, I'd be interested to
I feel
try
like we're
that.
going to get some hate for that.
Oh, most definitely.
Next food trend for 2020, or food trend prediction, sustainable seafood.
And we've been seeing this across all industries, I feel, right? People
Yeah.
getting more conscious about where their food is coming from
Exactly.
and how their food is treated and what kind of quality of food
Yep.
they get. So,
Yeah, I
sustainable
think it's-
seafood.
Yeah, it's something that back when I was in culinary school was brought to my attention very quickly. Was being able to have sustainable seafood and not overfishing, in like Alaska,
Right.
or there's halibut up there and salmon up there that was being overfished. And it's something that you really have to be conscious about, because the demand of a certain protein or a certain fish or anything in the States or otherwise then increases the amount of fishing and things that they have to do. And when they overfish, they don't give the fish time to repopulate. And when you do
Right.
that, you run the risk of running that specific type of fish or whatever extinct.
Right.
And doing that is just going to impact the environment. It's going to impact what we have available for future generations. And being able
So-
to cultivate and sustain that is super important.
Here's a question. let's say the examples you gave was halibut and what was the other? Salmon. Okay. So in order to not overfish in a specific area, but you have those items on your menu, everybody has salmon on their menu. Mm-hmm. Do you just get them from different parts to try? How do you become sustainable?
Yeah. So one method that has become more popular is farm raised. So if you ever pay attention to your catfish or your salmon, odds are when you read the packaging, it'll say farm raised. This is when they actually have controlled ponds that they cultivate these fish in. And you'll actually see the difference in a farm raised salmon and a wild caught salmon. A wild caught salmon is going to have a lot more red hues to their flesh.
Yeah. It's like bright, dark.
Right? Absolutely.
And then farm raised is the pale.
Yeah, it's got that pale orange to it. Yeah. So if you were to actually completely farm raise a salmon without putting something in the water, that their flesh would be white. A lot of farmers are putting some sort of red dye or some kind of red dyed food for the salmon into those ponds in order for them to get that orange hue to their flesh. It's certain things like that. They're trying to preserve the characteristics of what you would get wild caught without too much impacting what's going into the fish or what you're consuming from the fish.
What are your thoughts between comparing the two, the wild caught and the farm raised?
To me, the wild caught is hands down the best, no question, because they're able to swim as they want to. They're able to live in their natural environment, so you can't get any better than that. To me, as a chef, actually, I think Marco Pierre White just posted this on his Instagram a couple days ago. It's one truth that all chefs must understand is that Mother Nature is the true artist. We just take from what Mother Nature has to offer. So when we are able to take it from its natural environment and give it the respect it deserves, you cannot beat that.
Right.
But I do not at all knock people trying to find something more sustainable for something that's in such demand.
Right. But then I also don't know how I feel about like additives in food. Right. Like you're adding these red dyes, which may not be impactful to health, environment, whatever. But like it's still like I feel like it's
fake.
It's fake.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right. And with meat and stuff like that, they do other things. And so I like all for sustainability and caring for the environment 100%. But if you can somehow figure out how not to do it by trying to fool people, I think that'd be good.
Almost definitely. And a lot of the time it's and the rationale for it is just they feel like people won't identify what they're putting forth unless it has similar traits and characteristics to what's naturally available.
Totally get that.
But I definitely agree. Like I myself, if I were to get a piece and the piece of salmon were to be white,
you'd be like, what is
this? Yeah, exactly. I would say, what is it? But if they say, hey, it's salmon, this is the difference, this is the technique, educating your chefs, your restaurateurs, and your consumers about why it's different, I think will make it a lot more socially acceptable. So I think that there's definitely an avenue to travel down without having additives or anything going into something farm raised. So I agree with you there.
And I think it prevents a little bit of fraud in the sense of you can't advertise that as wild caught anymore because the color and the hue is completely different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? It's white as opposed to that bright orange hue, that salmon pink hue that it usually has. So just thoughts in Nabil's head. The next thing, and we've kind of seen a little bit of this happen now, is, we had regional cuisine, right? We have Southern food and we have Mexican food and things like that. But we're seeing more, and we're going to continue seeing more of micro-regional cuisine.
Right.
And for example, like Mexican food will expand beyond just tacos and burritos, but you see specialties from Oaxaca and Veracruz come into the picture where they're giving you something that, like soca, like that's their shredded dried beef that, you might not get in a traditional Tex-Mex or an old Mexican restaurant. So I feel like that the micro-regional, really drilling down into things is going to come into the picture. What do you guys think?
I definitely think that it's going to be something that's just going to explode. I know that we have people that are already doing it. And honestly, Michelin star chefs have been doing this for decades. They take a piece of their home and they bring it into the restaurant and expose it to the world. And I think that's what's so unique about being a culinarian is that you're able to take something that means so much to you and express it to your customers and your guests and your fellow chefs in a way that they're able to speak that same language. They feel what you're trying to communicate. So I definitely think that that's going to expand, and it may expand, past Michelin star chefs and become more of just a norm, which honestly I think would be fantastic.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, other than all of that too, it like makes a restaurant stand out a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing something that no one else is giving, and that flavor cannot be easily replicated by
Right.
the Mexican restaurant down the street.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So, although don't get me wrong, love tacos and fajitas. I will
Oh,
eat
nothing
them
wrong
every
with
day.
But I mean, yeah, just to speak to that one step further, it's like, if you go into two different Cajun kitchens, you're not going to find the same gumbo. You're
Yeah.
not going to do it.
Yeah.
There's always nuances. So yeah, just to speak more to that point, like that's what's still going to make them stand out even more, make them more of a bold choice, is just having those different, unique dishes on their menu that make them stand out just that much more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Another food trend, and I think we did start seeing this last year, small plate menus.
This is my favorite trend.
Oh, me too. I mean, and I feel like we're seeing it a lot now with these new places that have opened up here in the city even, which we love so much. So you can go and try multiple things.
I do that anyway, but
Yeah.
small plates makes it more acceptable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Instead of getting multiple full entrees. But I am a huge fan of the small plate menus. Couple places that have opened recently that do that.
Gun Izakaya.
I think Gun's a great example of this.
I think Bar Cicchetti.
Bar Cicchetti, yep.
And then the new one that's opening up, Luau. That's the Mediterranean concept in the Plaza District. I think that's going to be fantastic. Like there now, look at this. We're seeing the regional cuisine coming into small plates. So trends are
tapas.
emerging.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful sight.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And the next one is open hearth cooking.
Oh.
And, that's kind of going in with like the whole eating is an experience.
Yeah.
And so I don't have much experience with open flame cooking.
I guess the experience I have is s'mores.
I know marshmallows and chocolate.
Well,
I don't know if you can classify. You can't classify grilling as an open flame cooking.
No, you
No.
need.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about fire pit,
Yeah.
stick,
Yeah,
marshmallow.
different types of wood.
Yeah, it's you have to be a true pit master to be able to cook over an open flame that way. A lot of chefs can cook under controlled flame.
Right.
Very few can cook over an open exposed flame and work with what heat they've been given. So, that's really being closer to the elements when it comes to that. So you can have, your earth and your wood there, and it's just this huge uproarious fire. It could be this small little embers, and understanding the nuances of fire is totally different than just understanding the nuances of food.
Yeah.
I can cook a piece of salmon in a pan over a medium-high flame with my eyes closed. Ask me to do it over an exposed open flame like that,
Yeah.
you might end up with a little charredness. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You might have some charred bits here and there. So I have a complete different level of respect for people that are able to do that open hearth cooking.
Yeah. We talked a lot about fire and controlling your fire with Travis Clark and how you really have to master that of being able to control your flame and your heat. I don't have those skills.
You're not a pit master yet?
Not yet.
Me neither.
Getting
Me neither.
there.
But another thing that open hearth cooking or open flame cooking gives you is the opportunity to impart flavor from the wood.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because all these different varieties and types of wood have completely different flavors. Their smoke is going to be completely different. But then also to kind of talk about like the heat control, wood doesn't burn the same. One wood doesn't burn
exactly.
the
No,
same
it
as
does not.
wood two.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just so much nuance to that
Absolutely.
that would get imparted into the food that they're cooking.
Most
So-
definitely. Like personally, I'm more of a hickory and oak person when it comes to actually cooking with wood. They're both very bold, very rich flavors. Mesquite, anytime that I've done barbecue and cooked with mesquite, I get more of almost an acidic flavor, which is a weirdly odd way of explaining it.
Yeah.
But that's more of what I get from mesquite wood. So I'm more the cook that will go for the bolder flavors with the hickory and the oak. And having people try a rack of rib, for example, that are cooked over or smoked with different types of wood, it'll be night and day.
That'd be cool.
Right? I mean, it's night and day. If you try a slab that's been smoked with mesquite versus smoked with hickory, it's a totally different experience.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Like, yeah. I'm like thinking about all of these. I'm like, I want to eat that.
Yeah.
Hey, small plate barbecue.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, don't even get me started. Look, as soon as you said small plate earlier, the way that my mind works, I have so many ideas when it comes to food. It's like you know those old idea webs they used to make you make in my English class?
I still
right?
draw those.
That's how my mind works with food. So it's like, oh, this one ingredient will connect to another, connecting to another to develop a plate. Doing that, to me, small plates is the way that chefs just play around and put all those ideas out in small little parts. So when you're talking barbecue and you're talking about doing small plates with barbecue, man.
Dude, that could be awesome. You got sauces, you got meats, you got wood, you got man.
Listen, let's if you want to go down that route and you want to talk about, you know, adding different regions and types of cuisine to it, we're talking smoked barbecue pupusas. Like, let's get real.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be real here.
Oh.
If you want to start blending and mixing trends, let's mix 3 in 1.
Let's do it. Let's with kombucha on tap.
Oh, kombucha on tap. we just have to decide if we're going with pork or beef, or if we're going to be a flexitarian for the day and not go with meat at all, and
we'll throw in some meat alternative.
Yeah, go to a meat alternative. You know,
tofu.
Yeah, maybe a little tofu, little tempeh.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Some pea protein.
Oh, most definitely.
And then the last food trend for 2020 that we have on our list is going to be chain restaurants capitalizing on trends.
And I feel like this is already happening.
Yes.
It is definitely in a full effect.
I mean, we just talked about Burger King.
Yeah.
And their meat alternative burger.
Right. And I think it's just going to be more and more prevalent because you were talking about KFC a second ago.
Absolutely. KFC seems like they're almost doing something to follow a trend every quarter. So I think 1 or 2 quarters ago, they did their version of chicken and waffles. You know, that's a Roscoe staple in California. Right. So they're definitely just trying to follow the trend and follow the dollar. I hate to say it that way, but that's kind of what's been going on. So if you've ever heard of the Luther Burger, it's the burger that is supposed to be between 2 Krispy Kreme donuts, rumored to be developed by Luther Vandross.
Right.
I mean, love Luther Vandross, so got to know that, right? Now you look at KFC, and they just released their own version, which is a fried chicken sandwich between 2 donuts. I think my heart just stopped for a second.
I was like, I can't even imagine that.
But they're definitely starting to follow the trends. I mean, obviously one of the biggest trends to follow was that Popeye's chicken sandwich. I mean, that exploded to, you know, something that I don't think anything else is.
Marketing was well done.
That got chicken sandwiches a new level of stardom.
Yeah.
It caused every single chain that had anything chicken related to produce or promote their chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
It definitely was one of those trends that they just had gold from the jump, and they knew it, and they capitalized on it. And it was, I mean, it was a beautiful thing, but it was scary to see, you know.
Fun fact, I still haven't tried one.
You know,
I haven't either.
You know, fun fact, they're actually pretty decent.
I've heard they're actually really good.
Yeah.
I went to Popeyes twice to try this. Both times they were out. But the way they said it sounded weird. I feel like they were artificially not selling them past a certain amount.
I think that is very possible.
Because she didn't really say like we're sold out. She just said we're not selling any more for the day.
Well, absolutely. So when you're talking about trying to have a product available every day to a crowd that is just has a hunger that can't be sated, for lack of a better term, they're going to cap the amount of units that they're going to produce per day so that they can produce those units per day 5-7 days a week. And a good comparison, I don't know if you guys remember when McDonald's tried to capitalize on the Rick and Morty, like what was it, Szechuan sauce that they had in the little Rick and Morty TV show. They tried to blow it up all over social media, and it had a massive response. But they only would deliver maybe 10 to 12 packets of sauce per store.
Really?
So the first 10 or 12 people to go through the line got it all, and then everybody else, they just created this almost just mob. You know, and that's kind of what was going on with the chicken sandwich, which is why I'm glad they actually said, you know, we're going to pull it for a little while, then we're going to release it back in when we are actually able to keep up with the demand. So I think that's their way of trying to control that. maybe trying to
but for
avoid
someone like
that.
me who made it there and didn't get it, I was kind of sad.
And their way of thinking is, what, you may be sad, but the
you'll
100
come back
plus,
and get it.
yep, and the 100, you'll be one of the first of those 100 plus people to come next week. That's.
But I wasn't. Joke's on them.
Unless you go back.
I feel like eventually I'll try it.
So yeah, I think that's a pretty decent list.
Yeah. So if you have any ideas or thoughts on any of these, or if you're like, hey, I see this happening,
or I see this trend coming in 2020,
let us know.
Hit us up.
I'm sure there's more than this.
Oh, for sure.
This is by no means a comprehensive list. So.
Yeah. So we love hearing from our listeners. So if you have ideas of some food trends coming in 2020, feel free to email us at okcfoodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't follow Gabe right now, he posts some fantastic content on food. Obviously. So show him some love.
How can they find you, Gabe?
On Instagram, I'm _Gabriel Lewis, and Facebook and Twitter, you can just find me at Gabriel Lewis.
Cool.
There you go.
Thank you so much for being on again.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Anytime you want me on.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed chatting with you.
Likewise.
And if you haven't done so yet, leave us a rating, write us a review. Like Ashley said, we love hearing from you, and we love seeing the positive reviews. So 5 stars, please.
Yes, please.
You're 5-star host.
Hey.
You deserve the 5 stars. Absolutely.
I appreciate
Thank you.
that. I appreciate that.
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at OKC Foodcast. And I think that's going to wrap us up. So until next time, friends, eat well and be happy. Bye.